Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Schachter. I'm the founder and CEO of Axiom Real-Time Metrics, and thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today. I want to introduce you to a presentation, which is the criticality of having a unified eClinical platform run your medical device trial. I'll be walking you through some interesting things today for us to have a great dialogue. So for a little bit of background, Axiom's been in the technology space, developing unified eClinical platforms since 2001. We've run hundreds of studies. The largest trial we're running today is about 40,000 patients, which is obviously significant. And we run trials every size and shape. We run single-site trials of a certain dozen number of patients, and we run obviously large global trials and everything in between. And we do about 45% device and about 55% drug studies. To that end, Fusion is our eClinical platform. It started life as EDC and data management, and over many, many years added RTSM, CTMS, ePro, and so forth. And today encompasses the entire process of managing an entire study, and we'll walk you through a number of those factors. One of the most critical aspects in a study today is how do I get to all my data? That's the beautiful thing about Fusion, is that it's a connected hub for every piece of data. Obviously, clinical data, study data, CTMS data, inventory management data, and so forth. And it means single sign-on to every single one of those aspects. So to introduce the platform as a whole, these are the modules. We're going to focus on a presentation today, so I won't walk you through them all. But major categories in terms of data basics and analytics, ePro, eCOA, capturing all of the key data requirements, safety, so managing an event through reporting it, inventory management and randomization, cohort management, and obviously all the aspects of CTMS. As an organization, we also help clients on the things beyond the technology for managing studies. Obviously, with a critical aspect for us, start with the data analytics and data management. We support our clients from a clinical management standpoint, pharmacovigilance, and the key aspect of managing the analysis of biostats, which obviously is essential in our studies today. So let's talk a little bit about the key things in a device study. One of the top bracket of things that need to happen is we need to collect the data. Very often we need to be able to manage the inventory for a device, and that often includes carrying inventory, quote-unquote, hand carry of devices into clinics. We then very often need to adjudicate information that we gather, so images, reports, and so forth, in a blinded or unblinded fashion. We need to, of course, handle CEC and DSMB management, and very often we have patient-reported outcomes, which involve, obviously, questionnaires at the clinic level and diaries that the patients are taking home. These may fit into, excuse me while I grab a water. These may fit very often into many device studies and probably fit into at least 70 or 80% of the breadth of the studies that you work on today. In the typical fashion of running a device study, these brackets that we're referring to are very often in independent platforms, which means your teams are spending just enormous amount of time getting access to data, coalescing this information, being able to look at reports across multiple systems, and you can obviously have upwards of 6 logins that you're grabbing to be able to manage the study. That puts a burden on the overall study where you're not spending time effectively managing it. Why? Because, of course, you're just gathering information. And it's not, of course, the best use of our time when we're spending enormous amounts of time collating data instead of reviewing and managing that data. To that end, Why use 6+ systems when you can do it in a unified platform? So what does that mean if you pull it together? It means that the essential aspects are totally interconnected. They speak to each other. They have the ability to share information where necessary. And it changes the dynamic, as you can imagine, therefore, of running your study. From an Axiom perspective, everything that we do is a single log-on environment, and it means that all these things on screen are integrated. You want to see the compliance from an ePro standpoint, your study coordinator can look at that at any time in the same log-on that they're doing their data entry. Do you want to see if you have inventory on site for upcoming cases that are going to be done? It's, again, centralized within the platform so that you're eliminating the need to go look for inventory or track it in an Excel spreadsheet. Taking that a step further, where do the benefits come to the table? So from a sponsor standpoint, I've already touched on a few. Let me highlight a few more. The most important is the third benefit here, which is the data quality. Nothing is more important, I think you would agree, than the quality of the data that we end up with in our study, and the ability to be able to produce high-quality data. Nothing tops the importance of that. From that perspective, you're spending a heck of a lot less time managing it, and therefore the data oversight time and quality obviously increases. The startup time is faster, and throughout the overall study, it's fewer vendors to be able to manage, and it's absolutely lower cost when it comes to a single vendor managing it all. Also, from the sponsor perspective, there's less time on adjudication, which is very often a reality of device studies, because all the adjudication is centralized. It allows you to do adjudication where it's all centralized data. The adjudicator can be blinded to the process. There could be multiple adjudicators as part of it. And then managing, again, in data oversight, the CC and DSMD reporting, which often means you're taking data 30 days ago and grabbing it. In a unified platform, you can be in a position where you're taking all of that data and be able to manage it directly and do it almost real time. From a site perspective, there are significant benefits to sites. Here are just a couple. Number one is the fact that they're logging into just one environment for everything that they're going to do. Number two is the fact that they're putting data in once. So instead of entering data in your IRT and then in EDC and so forth, they're doing it only in a central place. The management from an ePro perspective, they don't have to participate in doing manual data entry. And then your monitors obviously don't need to review that manual data entry. So coordinators are incredibly happy through that process. Building on the benefits from a data review perspective, the CRAs in the review of the data, number one, again, they have one logon to every piece of information. So you're not training your monitors on 4, 5, or 6 different systems for them to be familiar with. Number two, they do not have to manage oversight of data reconciliation. They're doing review of that data from a single place. And when it comes to monitoring of data, obviously significantly more focus on the quality of the data because they're not spending their time collating information between platforms. And last but not least, from a data management perspective, it's absolutely critical. I think we all agree the goal of data management is to produce high quality data, which of course leads to your work with biostats. When you're grabbing that data from multiple platforms, it is significantly more work. The data has to be cleaned to different levels. In a unified platform, you're saving time, you're saving money. It's far faster at producing high quality data. Therefore, you close your database in 3 to 5 days at the end of the study instead of 2 to 3 weeks. Also, as a critical component, the ability for data management to have comprehensive data reports every minute of the day simplifies the overall study and, of course, leads to higher quality data. I appreciate you spending a couple of minutes, so I want to introduce a notion to you at Axiom, what we call own your data relationship. When you do a device study, there's tremendous effort when it comes to grabbing all the data and managing all the data. You own it, it belongs to your device company, but we fundamentally believe in this idea that you should own the data relationship, which means you should have single sign-on access to that data at all times and not be running around to gather your data. A critical consideration to give some thought to, and that of course means access to every single piece of data that you're going to need to run your study, and obviously puts you in a place where you're in a better position to be able to make the appropriate business decisions that are important on a day-to-day basis. It's what we refer to as running a data-driven study, means single sign-on, dashboards for everything within your study, and of course critical reporting across all of the critical areas from a study perspective. And as per this stream, it means access to all the right information and every time, live overview of what work is being done within your study, and obviously critical in the day and age of running clinical studies, being able to manage the risks that are in front of you within that study itself. So to that end, I just want to say thank you very much for spending time with me today, going through an awareness of what we're doing within the study itself. We greatly appreciate it, and thank you for your efforts in spending a few minutes in this session, and I hope the ARENA conference is valuable for you. Thank you, and have a great day.